If you're thinking about adopting a dog and preparing for their arrival, you're in the right place. Adopting a rescue dog is not only an act of love, but it's also an incredibly rewarding experience for both you and the dog. In today's video, we'll guide you through everything you need to know about adopting a dog and how to prepare your home for their big arrival. As animal advocate Karen Davison once said, saving one dog will not change the world, but surely for that one dog, the world will change forever. We couldn't agree more. By choosing to adopt, you're not just making a difference in your own life, but you're also helping to ease overcrowded shelters and save two lives, the one you adopt and the space you make for another dog in need. So, whether you're looking to adopt from a shelter or a breed-specific rescue, we'll cover the key questions to ask before adopting, the steps in the process, and tips on getting your home ready for your new furry friend. Let's get started. What to expect when adopting a dog. Before you adopt a rescue dog, you need to carefully consider whether your situation and lifestyle are suited to a new pet, and whether you're really ready for the 10, or even 15, to 20-year commitment that dog ownership brings. Consider the following aspects of adoptive dog ownership as you decide whether it's the right path for you. Do you have the time and resources for a dog? Dogs require time, money, and affection. That last one may be the easiest to give, but finding enough time for walks, leash training, acclimating, and house training your dog takes effort. In addition to dog food, a dog bed, treats and squeaky toys, veterinarian visits, routine vaccinations, and, if necessary, professional dog training are all expenses you'll need to consider. Training takes time and patience. Even if the dog you adopt isn't a puppy, and even if he had a previous owner, he probably picked up some bad habits while he was up for adoption. Improper urination, chewing, jumping, and pulling on the leash are all super common behavior problems in rescue dogs, especially pups who may never have had obedience or potty training, but they are also correctable. Consistent training is important in establishing new habits and teaching your new rescue his boundaries and the rules of his new pack. Your pup also might be acting out because they aren't getting what they want. Read the things your dog actually wants from you, hint, a lot of attention. You'll both need time to adjust. Many dogs wind up in shelters with no track record or history, and it's impossible for them to tell us what they've been through. Even coming from a great shelter or a wonderful foster home, a newly adopted dog has been through a lot of changes. They left their previous home and may have entered a shelter environment with a lot of other dogs, and for some, this may be the first time they're separated from their mom and littermates, all of which can be stressful. When they are adopted, dogs need time to decompress, learn a new routine, meet new human and animal friends, master the rules, and feel safe and secure in their new home. You'll also need time to learn their quirks and preferences. It may also take time for a new dog to warm up to other animals in the house, so give the dog, and yourself, time to adjust. You may need to get your pup spayed and neutered. In order to reduce the number of homeless pets, most reputable rescue organizations require that dogs and cats be spayed or neutered. This may be mandatory before your pet leaves the shelter or soon after you've brought it home. If the shelter doesn't have the resources to handle the surgery, they should be able to recommend a low-cost spay/neuter clinic or a veterinarian who offers low-cost surgery. Does your housing allow dogs? Housing issues, particularly large breed or breed-specific bans, are the #1 reason for owner surrender of dogs to animal shelters. Before you get your heart set on a dog of any size, and especially if you're a renter, make sure your property allows dogs. Even some HOAs have breed-specific bans, so be sure to check before you adopt. How much does it cost to adopt a dog? When you adopt a pet, you're saving money, as adoption is a more economical choice than purchasing. Most shelters and rescue groups apply adoption fees that cover spay or neuter surgery, a health exam, vaccinations, a microchip, and, occasionally, a starter kit of doggy gear. Fees will vary based on the shelter or group, and can range from $0 during special adoption drives to $350, depending on the individual pet. Some places will waive or greatly reduce fees for older dogs, dogs that have been at the shelter a long time, or dogs with special health needs. If you're adopting from a nonprofit, this fee may be considered a donation and, as such, would be tax deductible. How to adopt a dog. Adopting a new rescue pup is seldom a spur-of-the-moment act, but rather one that can take days, weeks, or even months. Here are the steps involved. Where can you get a dog? There are so many places you can find a rescue dog. There are local shelters, the ASPCA, local rescue groups, and breed-specific rescue groups. You may also find private owners looking to rehome a pet, sometimes via Craigslist or social media. Unfortunately, since the beginning of the pandemic, increases in puppy sales and online purchasing have created an ideal environment for internet scammers and inhumane puppy suppliers to break the hearts and bank accounts of online pet purchasers. It's important for people to meet their new pet in person before exchanging money, so we urge people to stop by their local shelter or rescue group to fall in love with a pet in need. Look for a Best Friends Network partner shelter or checking on Pet Finder. If you do opt for a private adoption, make sure you can visit the pet first, and try to adopt through someone who is known to your friends or relatives. Determine what you want. You may walk into a shelter and fall in love with the first pair of puppy dog eyes that lock with yours, or you may have a more specific dog in mind. If you're thinking of a particular breed, you should definitely research the characteristics and personality traits of the breed. While shelter animals are often mixed breeds, usually there are at least one or two prominent breeds in an individual dog. Prospective adopters should research around the following questions. Is it a breed that needs a lot of exercise and has a ton of energy? Is it a breed that is more content being a couch potato? Is it a breed that is good with children or other animals? While there are breed-specific traits, every dog is an individual, so it is always good to ask the shelter or rescue group what personality traits the specific dog you are looking to adopt has been showing. Sometimes this can be hard to assess in a shelter situation, because they can be very scared and nervous with so many other animals around. Other points to consider are whether you want a large dog, or a small or medium-sized dog, whether you prefer a short-haired or long-haired dog, and whether you're open to adopting an older dog. All that said, it's important to approach dog adoption with an open mind. You may picture yourself romping with a German Shepherd puppy but instead fall for an adorable mixed-breed adult dog that needs your love. Fill out adoption forms. The steps vary from shelter to shelter, but typically, you'll be asked to fill out an application, which might be extensive, before you look at adoptable dogs. You may be interviewed by a shelter worker, who will ask questions about your work history, whether you rent or own, background on the other individuals living in your home and your history with pets. Depending on the shelter and/or local regulations, you may also be subject to a background check and a home visit. Once approved, you'll be able to visit with available dogs and make a request for a specific pet. Schedule a home visit. Many shelters will require a home visit, where a representative, often a volunteer, makes a brief visit to ensure that the adoptive pet will be going to a safe, clean environment where there are no signs of animal hoarding or abuse, and where any animals present appear to be well cared for and happy. This will happen before you're allowed to bring the pet home. It may take several days or even weeks between applying for the dog, scheduling a home visit, paying the adoption fee, awaiting spay/neuter surgery, if applicable, and being able to bring your new fur baby home. How to prepare your home for a new dog. You've met your furry soulmate, you've been approved for adoption, and now comes the fun part, preparing your home and welcoming your new pet to the family. Here are some of the steps you'll need to take. Find a vet. Ask friends and neighbors with pets for their recommendations for trusted local veterinarians. Your pup may be perfectly healthy, but it's a good idea to schedule an office visit just to make sure, as well as to establish a relationship with the veterinary clinic. Plus, puppies may still need to finish up their recommended vaccinations. Get the gear. At a minimum, you'll need a dog collar and leash or harness, food and water bowls, a pet bed and, potentially, puppy pads and a training crate. And don't forget the dog food, dog toys, and dog treats. You'll want these items on hand before your pup trots through your door. Caution the kids. If you have young children at home, they're probably beside themselves with excitement at the idea of a new dog joining the family. But lots of little hands and squealing voices may frighten your pup. Make sure the kids know they need to contain their excitement. It's tough, we know, and let the dog approach them when it's ready. Remind them there's no poking, prodding, picking up or hugging until the pup's more comfortable with its new family. Thanks for joining us on this journey of how to adopt a dog and prepare for their arrival. Adopting a rescue dog is such a meaningful and rewarding experience, and with the right preparation, you'll be ready to give your new furry friend the loving home they deserve. Remember, by choosing to adopt, you're not only changing a dog's life, you're helping shelters and giving other animals a chance at finding their forever homes too. From finding the right dog for your lifestyle to creating a safe, welcoming space for them, you now have all the tools to make this transition as smooth as possible. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more pet care tips and adoption advice. Feel free to share your adoption stories in the comments below. We'd love to hear about your new furry family members. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.